Well, welcome to this Bulls Update, and for the first time this year, we welcome into our Bulls Update wrestling coach, John Stutzman, about to get your season started. I know you were thinking about this season the day after the end of the last season, but now that you're close, tell me a little bit what's running through your head.
Well, it's exciting. We're finally up and running. We got a chance to really do some special things, and we got a big weekend ahead of us, so we're really excited to get out there and watch our young guys compete.
You had your first blue-white scrimmage this past weekend. What'd you learn about your team?
I learned we're young again, but that's fun. And but I learned we have a lot of talent, and we just got to keep developing these kids, and we're competitive, you know, and we want to win. So those things, you know, a recipe for a great season.
26 underclassmen, only one senior. You are one of the youngest teams in the country. You were one of the youngest teams in the country last year. At some point, John, we're going to stop talking about you being so young because your guys are going to start to grow up. But how is the challenge different this year than maybe it was last year, dealing with, again, a still young squad, but maybe you got a few guys who know what you want?
Well, I think the first challenge is that they are young, but we have a great I have a great staff behind me that are kind of developing these kids. And then and they're hungry though. These guys are they're young, but they have all the accolades coming out in high school, so they're excited and they want to get going.
All right, so you do have some key guys coming back in sophomore Colt Cotton at 149, sophomore Joe Areola at 184, and sophomore Jason Estevez at 141. Those are going to be kind of the linchpins of your team this year, aren't they?
Correct. Those guys, they're workers and they've done a great job. And then we have Tyler Real coming back also. He's going to be a senior, and those four guys are leading us. They're doing a great job, and we expect big things from those guys. We expect those guys to get to the national tournament.
All right, so you got your first meet coming up this weekend. You're heading down to the Terrapin duels against Davidson and Maryland on Sunday. What are you looking for? What are you expecting? What, again, I like the same question I asked you before. What do you want to learn about your team?
I want to learn that we can compete with the best. You know, Davidson's a good team. Coach Pineski does a great job down there, and he's building our program. So that's a good start for us. And then we get into Maryland. Maryland, you know, Kerry McCoy's a head coach there, and they're a Big Ten team. They got 4 nationally ranked guys. So we're excited for that challenge, a challenge that I think we can, you know, come out on top of.
I want to ask you about one of your newcomers. And when we get together again later in the season, we'll really preview the new guys in your squad. But I want to ask you about Nate Rose, who competed in the Wrestling World Championships this summer. First UB wrestler to ever do that. What can we expect to see out of him?
Well, he's doing an awesome job. You know, he's developing. I'm going to hold him back this weekend and kind of just slow his progress down a little bit and just make sure he's ready to go for the end part of the season. But he's doing an unbelievable job. I think the future is very bright for him. So we're just being patient at this point.
Right. Well, I know the future is very bright for your team, and I know you feel good about where the program is heading. But again, now you start another season and you want to gauge your progress. What kind of progress do you want to have out of this year, maybe when we're talking 3 or 4 months from now?
Well, I want these guys to progress, you know, first and foremost. I want them to put themselves in position to achieve their goals, which is being a national champion, being an All-American. I want more wins than last year, and I want to get guys, I want to win MAC championships. So, you know, that's all a process, and we're just taking it day by day.
All right, first meet for John's team comes up this weekend. Check ubbulls.com for all the latest results. John, good luck on the season. We'll talk again. That is John Stutzman, the Bulls wrestling coach. This has been a Bulls Update.